For those of you of weaker constitution, for those of you who may be faint of heart, this is a tale of revenge and retribution. So if you're smart, before we start, you'd best depart. You'd best depart.
An usher fainted in the aisle.
A nun from Leicester lost her wits.
You might avoid the first or second row.
Blood may spill, and spines may chill. It's ghastly still. We thought you ought to know you'd be a fool to wait. It's not too late. For God's sakes! For God's sakes! For God's sakes, go!
Pentonville Prison, 19th of October, 1909. This is the memoir and perhaps final confession of Lord Navarro, 9th Earl of Highhurst. It is a fact of life that no one really tells the truth about himself, but in the event of my execution, while I still have time, I have decided to leave behind a purely factual record of events. I suppose one could call it a gentleman's guide to murder. Or should I say, love and murder. My story begins, as stories often do, with a quite unexpected visitor.
If there's a story written all of Clapham, I'm sure I've never seen it.
Pardon me, madam. Do we know one another?
Only since the moment of your birth to your dear, sweet mother.
You knew mother? I've only just returned from her funeral.
Poor dear Isabel, bless her soul. Look at you, all grown up and handsome as the devil.
How is it you knew mother, Mrs.
Miss Shingle, Marietta Shingle.
Shingle, of course. Mother spoke of you often, and how she looked forward to your letters.
And I to hers, I assure you. You were going to make a spot of tea, were you?
Manners, Miss Shingle. Mother always had a kettle on.
And if you could spare a biscuit or two, I'm sure I wouldn't mind. I knew you and your mother were having a rough time of it, but I didn't know it had gotten this bad. Have you got any prospects, love?
Well, Mother always dreamt I should go to Oxford or Cambridge somehow. It seems rather unlikely now.
There was nothing your mother wouldn't do for you.
I hardly know how I shall go on without her.
You rather favor your father, physically, I mean.
Did you know my father? Well, he died when I was 7.
Only met him once, love. Castilian, as dashing a face and figure as you have ever seen. What do you know about your mother's family?
Oh, well, Mother never spoke of them. Must have been curs and mountebanks. Horse thieves at the very least.
Well, not exactly. Do you know the Dysquith family?
The Dysquiths? Why, yes, of course. Hasn't everyone?
Then you've heard of Highhurst Hysal.
Of course.
And you're aware of their position, their vast wealth and influence.
Yes. But what has it got to do with me?
You're a Dysquith.
What?
You're a Dysquith.
No.
The Dysquith blood is flowing through you.
Me? A Dysquith?
A genuine, bona fide Dysquith.
Oh, rubbish.
Of course, you don't believe me, do you?
You must be mad.
You're the same as the day is long. And to my estimation, there are 8 other relations between you and the current Earl of Highhurst, Lord Albert Dysquith himself.
I'm afraid you're mistaken. Mother took in laundry and washed the neighbors' floors until her hands bled. Does that sound like the life of an heiress to you?
Well, if your mother wasn't a Dysquith, what was her maiden name?
She always insisted that the only name that mattered was my father's.
Your mother lived like a princess in every way. The Hysal. She eloped with your father the very next day.
So she was disinherited?
In a word, yes. Despicable, the lot of them.
No wonder the awful bouts of sadness she tried so to hide. And her obsession that I should rise above my station.
I haven't seen this jewelry box in years. This was given to your mother by the old Earl himself.
I found it hidden among Mother's things. But I can't make out how it opens. Letters. Dozens of them. Addressed in Mother's hand to members of the Dysquith family. And all of them returned unopened.
Anything else?
A document. My birth certificate. Montague Dysquith Navarro. Then it is true. Poor Mother. To think how she must have suffered.
Your mother made me promise I'd never tell, but now she is no longer living. She wanted to save her private hell, but now I think you deserve to know. Take this knowledge and use it well. The family may yet be forgiven. This will guarantee you the right to be on the family tree, and it seems to me indisputably integral. You're a dice. There can be no other way to do it. Montague, you're a nice whip.
I'm all of a son of a Dysquith.
Yes, and it's time for everybody knew it. You are the son of the daughter, of the grandson, of the nephew, of the second. Your turn.
I am the son of the daughter of
The
grandson of... Sorry?
the nephew.
Of the second Earl of Highhurst. The thought occurs, why should I believe a woman who might very well be insane? And yet, there seems to be an air of authenticity to this document. I'm a Dysquith. It would seem I'm a Dysquith. Yesterday I was Monty Navarro. And Highhurst could be my host. I'm a Dysquith.
You're a dice whip.
A Dysquith, a Dysquith, a Dysquith. Lord Asquith Dysquith, Chief Officer, Dysquith Banking House, Bond Street, London. Lord Dysquith, allow me to introduce myself. I am the son of your late cousin Isabel Dysquith Navarro. As it happens, I am in need of employment, and I am writing to ask if you could possibly find room for me in the office of your stockbroking firm. I am considered honest and reliable, not without common sense or intelligence, and I am not daunted at the prospect of hard work. I look forward to your reply most eagerly. Sincerely yours, Montague Dysquith Navarro.
Monty?
Isabella. Oh, Isabella, I have wonderful news, but you're not going to believe it.
Don't you just love me in pink? Would you please make me a flap for my hat?
squeeze. Monty, you're a tease. Oh, Monty, look, my shoe.
Of course. I should like to.
I don't know what I'd do without you.
Yeah.
I have never met another man as half as dear as you. You're so clever too, and you make me laugh more than anybody. Why rather than so really much and so deadly dull? No one holds a conversation half as beautifully as you.
Actually, there is a matter of some urgency I should like to discuss.
You haven't said a word about my dress. You're a brute. Look, see how it moves when I turn to 3, 1, 2. It's a bit much for Clapham, but nevertheless, maybe just a bite, just to be polite. Monty, that's too tight. Monty, that's just right. Oh, what I could do. I don't know what I do. Oh, I don't have a clue. I don't know what I do without you.
Isabella, something miraculous has happened.
What?
Well, it's too fantastic. I've just learned that I'm in the line of succession to become Earl of Highhurst.
Earl of Highhurst?
Yes, it seems that Mother was a dye-smith, which means that I am a dye-smith too.
My mother was the Queen of Sheba. I believe that makes me Princess of Babylon.
You shouldn't make fun, it's true. And there are only 8 people before me in succession, which means that I could be Earl someday.
And pigs might fly. As if you could have been a dye-smith your whole life and not know.
I realize how it sounds.
As if you could ever be an earl. 8 people would have to die for that to happen. Now, how likely is that? Oh, don't go yet, your lordship.
Where are you off to in your pink dress?
To meet a friend with a motor car.
Does his friend have a name?
Lionel Holland. You're jealous of him, I can tell, because he's rich and good looking and has a motor car. Is it really true about you being a dye-smith?
Of course it is. I shall show you the papers if you
No,
like.
no. You say it's true, of course I'll believe you. Are you quite all right? We haven't spoken since the funeral, and I should be inconsolable if I lost my mother.
Isabella, I think it's time that you took me seriously.
Oh, Monty, the man I know will have wealth and position.
I will have wealth and position.
What will we live on and tell them?
Has it never occurred to you to marry for love?
Now you're being fooled.
Miss Howard, Mr. Lionel Holland is here for you.
And right on time. If only he weren't so predictable. Monty, where's my love? You really are a love. Monty, don't look so blue. I don't know what I do. Oh, you know that it's true. I don't know what I do without you. Don't you just love me in pink?
Mr. Montague Navarro, 61 and a half Ursula Grove, Clapham. Dear Mr. Navarro, regarding your inquiry of my father, Lord Dyscott, dated 17 March 1907.
Upon
After
careful consultation with several members of the Dysquith family, it is my duty to inform you that we are unaware of the existence of your mother, or consequently yourself. It would therefore be of no further use for you to trouble the firm or the family again. Further, if you should ever attempt to call yourself by the name Dysquith, we should be forced to turn the matter over to our solicitors. Definitively,
Mr. Asquith Dysquith, Jr. Pigs might fly. Foolish to think she would marry. Why would she sink so low? You've only a claim to a noble old name. Who could blame her for saying no? Foolish to dream she's in love with you. You're a fool to believe that kiss. The man who inspires such breathless desires, well, that's the man to dismiss. Foolish to hope she would ever see all that you really are. Well, a man with no trade is no match, I'm afraid, for a blade in a motor car. He'll go far. Foolish to pray you would ever be the fellow she might prefer. Let's have a drink. It's foolish to think you will ever stop loving her. On a mythical scale, the Dysquiths prevail on a hill just outside town. In a castle they love that is so far above, they're accustomed to looking down. And the family ordains that the blood in my veins is more than a trifle impure. They conspired with each other, condemning poor mother to a heartbreaking life she could hardly endure. With no conscience or care, they disposed of an heir to their glorious family tree. Do I lie down and die, or determine to try to alter the course of my destiny? Otherwise, what will become of me? Am I foolish to think I could ever be? Will I never be more than I am today? I would see me as a man of respect you could never detect, had once been so heartlessly passed away. Am I foolish to dream I'll be Earl one day, a towering man among men? Then who could deny now and then pigs can fly? We'll look foolish then. We'll look foolish
Welcome to the fair at Highhurst Castle, ancestral home of Lord Adelbert Dysquith, 8th Earl of Highhurst. It is from these very walls that Dysquith past defended themselves against King John.
King John?
Who was to meet his rebellious parents at running need. In the banquet hall, you will note the coat and mail worn by Richard, the Lionheart. Come along, come along. That will be 6 pence, please.
Monty!
Monty Navarro, you know you don't belong here. Monty Navarro, you're on a slippery slope. Your presence is endured but gently wrong here. May we suggest, we think you'd best abandon home. Abandon home.
we let you look. I hate to doss your futile little heads, but you pay your sixpence and you stay behind the ropes. I cringe when every cobbler or butcher or farmer comes touching my banisters, banging my armor. They fingered every finial, they pecked your cornerstone. Who want to be reminded of what they've never owned? Though my politics are purely democratic, I find the species frankly problematical. I don't understand the poor. No, I don't understand the poor. The lives they lead of want and need, I should think it would be a bore. It seems to be nothing but stubbornness. What's all the suffering for? To be so-debased is in terrible taste. I don't understand the poor.
To be so debased is in terrible taste. I don't understand. To summarize the heretofore, he does not understand the poor.
I don't understand the poor, and they're constantly turning out more. Every festering slum in Christendom is disgorging its young with its claw. I suppose that some with ambition say the pickpocket beggar a whore. From what I can tell, they do quite well. They're rising above and it's work they love, but I don't understand the poor.
They're rising above and it's work they love, but I don't understand the poor.
Where's the dignity?
Where's the dignity?
Where's the pride?
Where are you?
The ignominy?
Ignominy.
Putting the name and the hood aside, why accept charity? I'm perplexed by their attitude. I contend we extend them too much latitude. My tenants have no excuse. At Christmas I give them a goose. Where's the integrity? Where's the gratitude? I don't understand the poor. How I long for days of yore, when many a vassal stepped into your course, so they knew not to darken your door. Now they barge in every Tuesday with a sickening, thickening roar. Why clatter and trample? Set an example, we teach them to read, but do they succeed when we're hungry and frail? We feed them in jail. We send them off to war. I don't understand. I'm not being grand. I don't understand the poor.
I don't understand. I'm not being grand.
I don't understand them. There's one I admit I adore. He's missing a leg, but a very good egg. A gentleman through to the core. He may be a bit of a drinker, he can often be found on the floor. Through all of his pains, he never complains. He's bright and astute, a shame that he's mute. According to mother, he may be my brother. A fact we all choose to ignore, but I don't understand. I'm sensitive and I don't understand the poor.
I don't understand. I'm sensitive and I don't understand.
When a pox on the land, I don't understand the poor. Really, I don't.
Perhaps emboldened by my visit to Highhurst, I was compelled to make one more attempt to connect with my mother's kin. The Reverend Lord Ezekiel Dicewith was the one parson in the family, and I envisioned that he, more than anyone, might receive me with sympathy.
Ah, yes, I remember Elizabeth. Charming girl. Broke her father's heart. He and I used to spend our childhood summers together at Highhurst. Glorious days, glorious days.
I'm afraid there's a great deal of family history that I haven't been privy to.
The chancel was added in 1621 by the first Earl himself. It contains 3 late 12th century windows depicting the martyrdom of St. Ursula and her 11,000 virgins.
Ah, yes.
You'll notice the attenuated shafts sweep unbroken from floor to ceiling. Perpendicular period, of course.
Of course.
I must show you the tower. Go on.
Shoot him. I may count on you, Lord Reverend, to put in a good word for me with the Dicewith family. Perhaps with the Earl himself.
Ah, now I really couldn't. I make it my business to
stay out of family intrigue. Much better that way for everyone concerned.
Oh.
Now, if you note the Carolingian arches of my groin vault are pointed instead of round, which depicts the Palazzo de Radioni in Vicenza. Yes. Also note that our belfry is early Romanesque, which retains a bit of the Byzantine influence. Yes.
Are you certain you couldn't make an exception in this one case? For the sake of my charming mother, your cousin? Or perhaps out of loyalty to my grandfather, your childhood playmate?
Well, that's it, isn't it? If Isabel's own father saw fit to disinherit her for her sins, who am I to deny his wishes? Now, you'll need to get towards the edge a bit to truly appreciate the architectural significance of the flying buttresses. They're then to resemble the cathedral at Chartres.
Have you no Christian charity then?
Pardon?
What was her great sin after all? Only love.
Yes. Now, lean back as I do. Lean back, go ahead. Yes. Have you ever seen such horizontal thrust? Isn't it splendid? I shall need your help, please.
Oh, yes, of course, your lordship. I should think I could let him fall. He's on the brink, it seems. But why should I pause when I know the cause of mother's shattered dreams?
Help me, you presumptuous climber! Get!
What can I do for the dice wits to repay their warm embrace? What can I take from the dice wits except perhaps their praise? But with 8 other dice wits ahead of me, their foolish pride survives.
I beg you!
What can I take from the dice wits except perhaps?
Oh, please!
Except perhaps their lives. Oops. Will look foolish
It was a windy day in Lincolnshire, rather typical for that time of year, and it was no secret among his flock that the Lord Reverend was prone to inebriation. Had he deserved it? I couldn't say he hadn't. What I did know for certain was that in one moment, my life was now changed forever. I now had a series of increasingly humiliating jobs.
Chop, you know! Chop. Or you'll be getting the chop, you will!
I shuddered at the prospect of endless days of hopeless drudgery that other men might grow rich. Men like Asquith Dicesquith Jr., the man who had snubbed me so unmercifully when I wrote to his father. I discovered the young bounder was being assisted to sow his wild oats by a certain Evangeline Barley, who had recently completed a run as a Floridor girl at a music hall in Hackney. I discreetly observed their comings and goings.
I'll see you Saturday then, Asquith.
The train leaves Waterloo Station at 7:30. It should be empty then.
I followed followed them up to a winter resort at Hysal.
3 whole days on the lake together? It'll be perfect, won't it?
Chiselmere's wondrous out of season and quite private. The hotel registry has an unrivaled list of false names. I do hope you don't mind our being discreet.
I've never known a man to take such care of my reputation.
Pardon me, madam, but don't I know you from somewhere?
Certainly not. What are you insinuating, you insignificant upstart?
I meant no offense, I assure you.
Were you raised in some shanty town by some cheap Pokewalla?
Oh, ask what the look. There are people skating on the lake. Doesn't it look fun?
Oh, what a shame we didn't bring our skates.
But we can rent them right on the dock.
Oh, but it's getting rather late, don't you think? Almost time for Betty bye.
Oh, Assy, please, let's.
All right, Crumpet. Oh, I say, may I warm my hands in your mouth? You and I were sailing by, and no one knew how to find unseen, peacefully alone. We're leaving the riffraff behind. All afternoon, in our sweet cocoon, our cares for the moment at night. Side by side, no one knows how far we'll glide. Tell the world goodbye, eagerly we fly away.
I am standing here with poison in my pocket, standing on this frozen little dock. It seems that I just let them skate my opportunity away. If I had the voice to put the poison in a pot of tea or else a shot of gin, I would be back amid the noise of London by the end of day. But I'm standing here with poison in my pocket, one eye on the target, one eye on the clock. It better happen soon before I lose my nerve and run. If I had a knife, I could have grabbed him and discreetly knocked him on the head and stabbed him, not to mention what I would have done if I had a gun. And again, the thought was I had truly taken stock. It might have stopped me putting poison in my pocket. What a fool to travel all this way and not think twice. Murder's not a hobby for the cautious. Thoughts of violence make the timid nauseous. Unless, of course, the victim plunges headlong through the ice. It appears that I've been handed quite an opportune solution. All that still remains is proper execution. I had better join them on the lake before it gets too late. Suddenly there is no stumbling block. It means that I won't need the poison in my pocket. What a stroke of luck. Sabella teased me till I learned to skate.
Closer now, time is racing. Time is racing on. It's all a matter of pacing. In a moment, this moment will be mine.
With the rhythm of a violinist, I am soaring acting the icy spinnis to create a hole through it to try to loudest beat their tune. One could call this rather diabolic. Is it strange to feel even melancholic, like a twinge of some remorse? The remorse of conscience, I assume. But as for cutting, I am contemplating. And the truth is, it's a tad exhilarating, even though it is not inconceivable that I'll be caught. Still, it comes as quite a shock. It seems a novice standing here with poison in his pocket can discover murdering is easier than he had thought.
Tell the world goodbye, eagerly we fly.
Away.
I returned to town late that night, plagued by a haunting terror that I had left a clue, and sooner or later someone would come across it. I consoled myself by reading one of Mother's unanswered letters to Lord Asquith Sr., in which she pleaded with him to take pity on a woman alone with a son to raise. So it was a bit of a shock that not long after, I should receive a letter from that very same man.
Dear Mr. Navarro,
Some time ago, you wrote claiming a relationship to the Dysquith family and asking us if we could assist in securing a position through which you might earn your living. I must apologize for our unsympathetic behavior on that occasion. If you are still in need of a post, I should be very glad if you should come to visit me. Yours most sincerely,
Mr. Asquith Dysquith Sr.
Come in, Navarro. Well, you don't look very much like a Dysquith, yet there is something.
This is my mother.
We were not well acquainted. It was a sweet face. Have you ever seen the portraits at Highhurst?
Never.
She does appear to be extraordinarily like some of the women. Also some of the men, for that matter. Perhaps wondering how I would suddenly come to write to you.
Yes, frankly I am.
Well, I don't know if you are aware, but recently I lost my only son due to somewhat tragic circumstances. A skating accident.
Yes. My sincerest condolences.
Thank you. You know, of course, I was grooming him to succeed.
I did not.
Well, as is done now, past cannot be recalled. I was wondering if you might like to come into my firm. There can be no greater education in the business of stockbroking, but beyond that, I can make no promises.
Lord Dysquith, I hardly know what to say.
To begin with, you shall have £250 a year.
A very generous offer, especially since you'd be paying for the trouble of teaching me.
Here is a check for £20. You may wish to enhance your wardrobe. I shall expect you here at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Monty? Oh, Monty, I've got wonderful news. Oh, well, perhaps you won't think so. I'm engaged to Lionel Holland.
I should not be surprised. It is not unexpected. My best wishes to you both, naturally.
I do hope you'll come to the wedding. It's to be the 11th of May.
I shall enter in my diary.
Monty, it's so strange. Everything will change. Think how our lives will be. I don't know what you'll do without me. Poor Monty, you're awfully handsome and smart. Poor Monty, you'll rise above. You'll put the thought of Sibylla behind, and you will find someone better to love. Poor Monty, have I just broken your heart? Poor Monty, am I to blame? It may look bleak.
asked me to join the family banking house in the city. At quite a comfortable salary.
So what you told me was true after all.
You should never have doubted it.
You've grown older, Monty. Not in looks. You used to look like a boy. But now you look as if you've never, ever had a care in the world. Don't you want to kiss me?
What about Lionel?
What about him?
I cannot behave as if the very air you breathe is not to me love's own narcotic.
Monty, don't.
Isabella, you don't have to go through it. Come away with me right now.
Don't torture me, Monty, please.
Isabella! Isabella!
Disadvantages my son Montague will have if he is not permitted to matriculate.
Hello, birds! Hello, sky!
Of course, for Henry Dicewith, a Cambridge education was a mere formality, as he was born into a life of leisure.
Just cause you and your sister already own half the county doesn't give you the right to buy all my land out from under me. What's been in my wife's family for generations?
You lost your land to the bank, my friend, not to me.
I ain't no friend, you selfish toff.
Listen here,
See, Hamlet, man, I shall call for a constable.
Now look what you've done. You had best get yourself out of here before I have you brought up on charges.
I ain't through with you, Dicewith. I'll see you come a proper, I will.
Sense will get you nowhere, sir. I'll foreclose in the Hill County if it suits me. It's time that these peasants were made to be responsible for their own lives. I say, are you all right?
Yes, I believe I'll live.
I must say, that was awfully good of you to step in like that.
It was nothing, really.
You come from town, haven't you?
How did you guess?
One can always tell. That's the way the town men wear their clothes. It's an exaggerated bit of fashion, which belies a desire to look one's best. Men in the county, on the other hand, thinking that looking too good is not all that well. But that's all rot. And I say, let us all around.
Coming up?
It's the least I can do to the gallant stranger who came to the aid of a complete and total stranger.
Any man would have done the same.
The name's Dysquith, by the way.
Mine's Navarro.
When a fellow needs a little helping hand, who would be there? It's almost guaranteed. No one else could ever really understand. Only another man knows what you need. And when a man has fallen down upon his knees, in such a moment, who'd be better than someone with self-control? Someone who's strong and bold, someone as good as gold. It's better with a man.
With a man.
You agree, my friend?
Indeed, I do. When a man is lonely, he can always find another man who's feeling just the same.
Right you are.
Drink will help you get your troubles off your mind. You'll both be blind before you know his name.
Bubbles and squeak.
And in that rousing climax when your horse comes in, you'll cheer as loudly as he can. Only a man would see the meaning of victory. Oh, the camaraderie. It's better with a man.
It's better with a man. Women have much to recommend. Lord knows I've had my share. But when a fellow needs a friend, that's a totally different affair.
Women are soft against your skin. They're awfully nice to wrestle with.
But when the sport is masculine, you need a man to wrestle with. Gentlemen have secrets they will
Gentlemen have secrets.
they will never tell. No, they'll never tell their wives. Married men know there are things you must not say. Discretion is the only way that love survives. Men are always there.
Are always there.
Always there to share.
and
Nothing
take
can
care of
compare
mates.
instant.
Take a look at
Take a look at us. It's been there but us since boarding school began. Women are too complex.
Women too often vex.
Men are a simpler sex. It's better with a man.
Better with a man.
Better with a man. Better with a man. Bottoms up.
I think perhaps you ought to know who I am.
You're not a criminal, I suppose.
Well, not exactly. But I am a cousin of yours.
A cousin?
We had a mutual great-grandfather, Dansford Dysquith. My mother was a Dysquith. My father was a Cathedalian. And worse, a musician.
Oh, I dare say that doesn't matter. Noblesse oblige and all that.
All the same, I thought it just as well you should know. And perhaps your sister would not care to entertain me.
My sister? No, she'll be civil. Come along then. Oh, I do dare say I'm so awfully glad to have someone to talk to. I have two fellows coming up for a fortnight, but at present it's deadly.
Perhaps you should move to town.
Oh no, I have a house in London, but I'm here Saturday to Monday. My sister, she's the one that takes care of the estate. And this, my friend, is the honey shack. I can't wait to introduce you to my queen and her drones.
I shall be delighted to meet your wife.
Oh, no. My wife lives in London and rarely comes to Salisbury. Oh, no. I was referring to my bees. I've taken a bit of a knock in beekeeping. It's endlessly fascinating, deeply moving.
I should be afraid of being stung.
Oh, no, you can't die with one bee sting, surely. Here, I'll show you. It is over here. Just got this in London, you like it?
It's nice.
Yes. Be back in a moment. bit of my honey nectar.
I suppose over time one might develop a bit of a resistance.
Hell, I dare say, it would take 100 bees to kill me now.
But could one really perish from a surfeit of bee stings?
Oh, certainly. It happened to a fellow last year in Surrey. It was in all the papers. Go along, man.
I had so ingratiated myself to the beekeeper that I was soon invited back as a weekend guest. Just enough time for me to educate myself as to the extraordinary attraction of English lavender to your average honeybee. Upon my return to Salisbury, I paid a discreet visit to the honey shack as soon as I saw an opportunity.
Do pardon me. Miss Dicewith, I presume?
You are...
Mr. Navarro. But please, do call me Monty.
My brother tells me you are a cousin?
Yes, my mother was Isabel Dicewith.
Isabel? Do forgive me, but I don't recall ever hearing about her.
Shall I tell you why?
I wish you would.
My father was considered unsuitable because my mother married for love and not for wealth or
Oh, they
influence
cut
or-
her off.
Oh, without a shilling. They ever after behaved as if she and I had never even been born.
Why, Mr. Navarro?
I warned your brother you may not care to receive me.
Oh, on the contrary. I am most intrigued. What a beautiful story. Horrid, I'm certain, but still beautiful. She dared marry for love. Tell me, did your father have his own fortune, or were you quite penniless? Oh, do forgive me. Henry often scolds me for being indelicate.
Not at all. It's only that my father left no legacy. He died when I was quite young. But we managed to scrape by, Mother and I.
When I think of the indignities you've suffered, it must have caused an awful resentment towards the upper classes. Oh no, there I go again. And now I'm making assumptions about you. And there's nothing I despise more than when people make assumptions about me. They see a girl who's rich and from an important family, and not unattractive. And they assume an awful lot of things. The truth is, none of them know me at all. Not who I truly am. An oyster shell itself is unassuming. Look inside, you'll find a pearl. A man who otherwise is unpresuming may share the same blood as an earl. Do not dismiss a woman of position
There.
When I meet the man for whom I'm fated, although the one I've waited for is he. For he will find these wealthy trappings overrated, and he will see what no one sees in me. A girl who reads the classics, sonnets, who needs a folder to fill her cup. A girl who thinks a bit beyond her bonnets, and be of gentle heart and good renown. He'll be the most admired man in town. He'll take a world that's mostly upside down and turn it right side up. If we lived inside out,
Or even outside in, the change in
how we see would be immense. If we lived both side left,
or even left side right,
both side front,
or front side back,
would share
share
a
a
better
light.
light. Might just be right.
Day might just
be night.
if we knew the truth about each other on sight.
Well, might just make sense.
Naturally, I did everything I could to console her. I shall confess, it occurred to me at the funeral that should I achieve my goal of becoming Earl, I could find no finer woman to be my Countess than Miss Phoebe Dysquith. Needless to say, I was greatly relieved that, as a woman of my own generation, Miss Dysquith did not stand before me in the line of succession. But there were women of my mother's generation who did precede me in the lineage. As a girl, Mother had been closest to her cousin, Hyacinth. Now an unmarried woman of a certain age, her latest charitable venture had secured her a place atop the pecking order of society's elite.
I stand among the dull-witted of Greater London.
Lady Hyacinth had a virtual monopoly on the feeble-minded. But her valiant efforts disintegrated into scandal when her beneficiaries turned out to be not so dull-witted after all.
All of our donations stolen. I'm ever to show my face in society again. I've got to find a new cause of my own. Hey, quickly, come cut me the ideas.
Daisy Greville has the old.
Lady Sitwell has the blind.
And the fun for sailors' widows.
The two of them combined.
Night school for the nurse.
Lady Beach and Margaret Guest.
Crutches for the crippled.
That was Elsie Pond's bequest.
Wayward women.
Daisy Greville.
Who's behind disfigured name?
Daisy Greville.
And the deaf, don't tell me, hate Greville yet again. Everyone's got something, can't you see why I believe I want to do some good for what the devil's left.
What the devil's left.
If I may, Lady Dysquith.
Yes, speak up!
Baron Philpott, madam, of the Foreign Office. We met last month at the Consumptives Ball.
Oh, yes. You're looking much better.
If I may, one hears about such terrible poverty in Egypt these days.
Oh, Egypt, land of the pharaohs and of Moses the Israelite, home to the great pyramids and the Sphinx.
Yes, but now home to starvation, of desperate and abandoned children, a land in need of a new heroine. Dare I say, a modern-day Cleopatra?
That's it. Populate an orphanage in Cairo, with foundlings from the reeds along the Nile, to watch a creature grow, to swaddle it and know the joy of its pathetic little smile. To London, our selflessness will lead to great acclaim. The sniping will be still, and the empire will be filled with hymns for lost children in my name. All aboard, the looks are expressed in Cairo.
And off she went. What I failed to tell her was that a violent uprising against the Empire was finished. So, you can imagine my surprise when Lady Hysal returned to London quite unharmed.
Oh, I certainly couldn't. The degradation, the deprivation.
What about the children?
Thieves! The lot of them! Imagine, not standing to say God save the King! I wonder where my largesse have truly appreciated. I need a place so low that hope itself has been abandoned.
You've heard, of course, of the untouchables in India?
India, land of Hindus and Muslims, of tamarind and saffron, exotic and unknowable. That's it. We'll find ourselves some lepers in the Punjab. The helpless, and the wretched, and the cursed. Forgotten and unblessed. I'll take them to my breast. This rebel doesn't get there first. When we arrive, they'll hobble out to greet us. Their toothless grins will melt a heart of stone. And every militant will envy me at once. A colony of lepers of her own. Now not a word to even your mothers till we leave. Although, come to think of it, what is the point of helping others unless you let the whole world know all the times of London?
And off she went. I neglected to mention the malaria pandemic in the Punjab, a bit of insurance in case leprosy itself failed to prove contagious. So you can imagine my shock when Lady Hysal returned to London in record time. Quite a picture of health.
Oh, those dear disgusting lepers! In the terribly restrictive caste system in India, they refused our assistance. It got to the point where they were running away at the mere sound of my voice.
I don't suppose you'd be willing to penetrate the jungles of deepest, darkest Africa?
No! Africa! From Zululand to Yoruba, home of proud warriors that naked torsos rippling in the firelight!
Oh my god.
We're civilized, a village in the jungle!
The jungle.
It can't take long to learn our mother tongue. Of words they have but 6, and 5 of them are clicks. And all of them are different words for dung. And can't you see the frightful painted faces? The teach us how to swing from vine to vine. It's Daisy Gravel's loss, she'll never come across a tribe of backward natives worse than mine. The Hottentots and pygmies they are part of us, but even they are part of God's design. We'll bid you all goodbye, and all of London try to find a tribe of natives worse than mine. Charity towards others is due.
Oh, I may have neglected to mention she was headed straight for a particularly noteworthy tribe of cannibals.
Times of London, late edition. Society lineages appears in deepest, darkest Africa. Lady Highhurst dies with embroiled in tribal incident. Society lady in African skin. Highhurst dies with presumed dead.
Here are the reports you requested, sir.
Oh, excellent, Montague. Do you know, I was quite surprised to discover how close you are now to the succession.
I beg your pardon, sir?
Well, consider, if the current Lord Albert were to die, well, there's only 2 others who are ahead of you in the line of succession. That is, once I myself, of course, am out of the way.
Perish the thought, sir.
Keep going as you are, Montague. Who knows what may happen? Look at him. No denying his humble start. But it fills up this poor old heart when I see how well he's done. Montague, what is your current salary?
400 per annum, sir.
Let's make it 500, shall we? Look at him, all the loyalty he has shed, how my fondness for him has grown, till he's almost like a son. Some might have thought him unsuitable, how quickly he's earned my respect. Who would think, had the dice with me cast aside, could become such a source of pride? He's the last one you'd expect.
It's wonderful, Monty. I'm so happy for you.
Things have changed, haven't they?
And to think
To
that
think I began life in a third-rate terraced house in Clapham.
I suppose we're both doing rather well now, aren't we? We Honeygooded friends. That's Florence, you know.
Is it? Just you and Lionel and all of those marble statues. However did you tell them apart?
Monty, you're horrid. Lionel, I never would have believed that good looks could bore one so soon.
I'm afraid good-looking people who are stupid try one's nerves quicker than plain people who are stupid. At least plain people do feel they must make an effort.
Lionel is not only stupid, he's vulgar.
Let's not talk about your honeymoon, shall we?
Let's not. Would have believed that Monty Navarro ever would come so far, so fast. Never have seen a man so keen to overcome his past. Now he can live in princely fashion as the dice with name requires. He can pursue with all his passion everything he desires. I must go.
Will I see you again?
Well, of course. Some might have thought him unsuitable. They were, of course, incorrect. I always believed in Monty Navarro, even though, in retrospect, who would have guessed whose bell I'd ring this very afternoon? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Only just unpacked from my protracted honeymoon. He's the last one you'd expect.
Do you know what is wrong with this country, Mr. Goodbody? Everyone is weak. Have you ever studied eugenics, my friend? It is time that we keep the undesirables from multiplying themselves. Otherwise, I fear that England and the Empire will be lost forever.
Unthinkable, Major Diceby.
I spent last weekend up at Highhurst with my cousin, the Earl. Do you know him?
I know of him, of course.
The impertinence, the endless extravagant meals.
Oh, I'm afraid my constitution wouldn't allow such indulgence. I was raised a strict vegetarian.
Why, I myself am on the board of the London Vegetarian Society.
I had no idea.
Oh, what luck for us finding each other! Have you ever had yogurt culture? Delicious! It's a natural laxative, don't you know? Yes, matter of fact, last week I had a yogurt enema. Why not cut out the middleman, eh? Right, now I'm going to lift my own weight. 170 pounds.
Do you think it wise, Major?
Probably not. Threat me, will you? Now, if I want to cry out before the Count, and I may, you are not to help me, understood?
Quite.
Is so one.
1,
3 march.
2,
1, 2, 3.
3.
Mr. Goodbody,
You call me Phineas.
it's getting rather heavy.
Heavier, did you say, Major?
No,
Oh,
not heavy.
you insist.
It's not heavy. I'm not heavy.
Pardon me, Mr. Navarro is here to see you. Look at me, so completely in disarray, barely able to face the day. Shall I say I'm indisposed? Show to the drawing room, Mary. Look at me, I'm so terribly gray and grim, yet I'm cheered by the thought of him, rather more than I'd supposed. Henry had a great admiration for you, Mr. Navarro. He thought you the gayest person he'd ever met.
No one could help loving him.
Henry was not a perfect man, but I was deeply devoted to him. I'm afraid I am now at somewhat of a loss.
It is a short ride from London if you should ever need me for anything. Anything at all.
Some might have thought him unsuitable, but what cause have they to object? Who but he stood beside me to comfort me? Out of all of the family, he's the last one you'd expect. Salome dies with Humphrey returns to the stage. Lady Salome's had a gabbler. Seat still available.
Bang! And I hope I didn't hit anybody out there.
Well, what are you shooting at?
Oh, I just like to shoot up into the blue, into the great big blue sky. Bang! Oh,
If justice had prevailed, Lady Salome would have been slaughtered by the critics, thus relieving me of my job.
when I think of it now, there was a certain intimacy about it. Wasn't there? A secret only the two of us knew. Well,
Remember
you're
the
brought.
climax of the play? I managed to slip real bullets into Lady Salome's gun.
Bang!
The audience leapt to its feet. Tragically, Lady Salome did not.
Look at him.
Look at him now.
No denying his humble start. But it fills up this poor old heart
I'm impressed. How
when I see how well he's done.
obligations is allowed to have her fun.
Look at
Look at him.
all the loyalty
we share.
How my fondness for him.
Oh, my fondness has grown till he's almost like a son.
Some might have thought him unsuitable,
But if they took up us to reflect, they would cease for his matchless abilities. He's the best of the breed there is, the last one you'd expect. There seems to be a curse on our family. Have you weighed what this might mean to you?
Sir, the possibility has always seemed so remote.
I cannot deny that business has improved under your care. I'm going to double your salary, and I shall announce to the firm I am naming you my successor.
Your lordship, there are no words. Only two people left still alive who stand between the earldom and me. Only two still alive who are still above me. On the Dicewith family tree is the next one. My employer asked with Dicewith, but he treated me so well, how ungrateful to remove him after all his kindness. Oh, what hell, but remember, he was hateful. Asquith Dicewith was the cause of mother's grief. He denied her, vilified her, took away her birthright like a thief. On the other hand, has he not been rather decent, making me successor? Must admit I hate to do it, I've grown rather fond of him and...
Pardon me, Mr. Navarro. It seems as though Lord Asquith Dicewith has gone to his great reward.
Oh no! What happened?
Heart attack, sir. At least he did not suffer.
Only one person left still alive who stands between the earldom and me. Only one who stands between the earldom and me. Only one. Only one above me on the tree.
Thanks to him I have been renewed, but his virtue and fortitude, he's the last one you expect.
After the tragic death of Lady Salome, the sudden death of Lord Asquith Dicewith leads to 7 the number of heirs to the Dicewith fortune, who have died since last year, leaving one Montague Dicewith Navarro next in line of the succession.
How very lucky for Monty Navarro.
How astounding!
How peculiar.
Yes, how peculiar, Monty Navarro. How you come so very far, Monty Navarro. Earnest and circumspect, Monty Navarro. No one knows who you really are. Who would ever suspect?
Monty Navarro,
Monty Navarro, Monty Dicewith Navarro.
I am the next Earl of Highhurst.
And the last one you
We bring nothing into this world, and it is certain that we carry nothing out. The Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away. But surely, we can all agree that Lord Asquith Dicewith has been taken away from us far too soon. I can recall so many kindnesses in the regrettably short time that I knew him.
Why are all the Dicewiths dying? What grisly sort of plague is going round? It seems with every day a Dicewith slips away, and here we are assembled, putting another one in the ground. It's frankly all been rather mystifying.
Do forgive me if I scoff, but is it not a trifle odd how they they've all gone off to God.
Suddenly they're congregating underneath the sun. Oh, why are all the dice quiz dying?
What a tasteless way of showing off.
Why are all the dice quiz dying? It seems that all of London's shaken to the core.
To lose one relative, one could certainly forgive.
But how can you excuse losing two?
Or 3.
Or 4?
Or 7, why are all the dice quiz dying?
I've never seen such recklessness before.
It's unnerving.
It's older than
It's nothing about deserving. I never liked them much, I must confess.
In fairness, you must admit, at least it's a shame about the priest.
I can't imagine missing someone less, but really, why are all the dice quiz dying?
When truth to tell, so many others should.
Frankly, it was said they should all drop dead. No one thought they ever really would.
I happened to notice there wasn't a lot of crying.
I even heard a snicker from the back.
Oh, it really is a shame how they start to feel the same.
How many are there left to bury after what's his name?
I ask you, why?
Why are the dice dying? Who's ever next? I swear I won't come back. I'm utterly exhausted keeping track. And most of all, I'm sick of wearing black.
Why are all the dice with dying? What could explain this tragic family curse? A night or two ago, we were at Fidelio. He stood in Buddha Mezzo, and today he's in a hearse. If I should say that I wasn't concerned, I would be lying. One doesn't like to think of one's demise. With such events you'll see how fragile life can be. It rather makes me wonder if the next one will be me.
So tell me, why are all the dice quiz dying?
Family tree's been whittled down to size.
It's just a twig
There's
now,
almost no one left to eulogize.
except for you, dear. Let us pray no other dice with dice.
Why do you always stare at me so?
Do you mind terribly?
I don't know.
I never grow tired of looking at you. I see that nose that belongs on a coin, and there's that smile with the secret inside, and here are two eyes that are bright with a mischievous light. Try but can't quite hide.
Oh, Monty.
Oh, there's that voice with a promise of sin, and oh, those lips are a promise of bliss, and I know that your embrace is a treacherous place. There's danger in your kiss. This is the face of a woman a man could easily worship for all of his days. But a man could as easily lose his sanity, deciphering your gaze. Oh, you are vain and you're heartless, and yet I can feel in you a shade of sadness that's barely detectable. That I still want you at all. I may live deceitful, you're delectable. You see the fate of a man who has had the misfortune to spend his life caught in your sway. I see Isabella, my Isabella, and I like her that way. Yes, I like her just that way. And I like you that way. Do you have time for a glass of sherry?
Lionel will expect me to be home when he arrives.
I wonder, Savannah, what would you do if I were to marry?
Forbid it.
You think that would be so effective?
Were it not, I should never speak to you again.
Do you mean that?
Well, I suppose it would depend on whom you married, and if you married for love,
Or self-interest, you mean?
I suppose there is something marrying for love. I thought I was in love with Lionel. At least a little.
To do you justice, Savannah, I believe you did. Perhaps if we'd married, we'd have become bored with each other. Eventually.
Do you really believe that?
Well, there's all the difference in the world of being able to see a woman when you want to, and being obliged to see her when you don't.
I'm not sure I appreciate your attitude. Monty, I've been wondering something. Since you're so cozy with the dice quits, I wonder if you couldn't get Lionel an invitation to Highhurst?
Lionel? Or you?
Oh, it's all for Lionel. It would appear he has political aspirations. Perhaps I am being a bit presumptuous, asking for a favor for my husband.
Not at all. It's only that I could scarcely put in a good word for Lionel when I haven't had the good fortune of an introduction with the Earl myself. I would help you if I could.
I know you would, and Lionel without resources of his own. We shall see which of us is invited to Highhurst before the other, won't we? Who could that be?
You haven't the foggiest. Quick, go in the bedroom and shut the door. Be very still. Miss Nicewith.
Mr. Navarro, forgive my intrusion.
This is so unexpected.
I needed to see you and see you today. Mr. Navarro, I have arrived at a sudden conclusion, and I feared I would lose my resolve if I did not come here directly to say I've decided to marry you. I decided though Henry's gone that life goes on for me. I thoroughly thought it through, and the man that I want is you. Though it's true there are quite a few who strongly disagree. Nonetheless, I will marry you. I'll confess that I'm frightened too, but unless I am wrong, you long for love as much as I. This is quite unconventional, I'll admit, but what does that matter a whit? If you do not say yes at once, I think I'll die.
Miss Nicewith, you've rendered me speechless. May I call you Phoebe?
What am I doing here? This could be dangerous if I'm discovered. Imagine a scandal, and I couldn't handle a scandal so risible, haughty and visible, still as can be. But what's going on in there? I can hear voices. I recognize Monty, but is that a woman? And if that's a woman, then what is she doing here? Is it that cousin? I wish I could see. If it's that cousin, it might just be business and family business. It's none of my business, but why is she here in the home of a bachelor? Of course, one could point out that I'm here as well, but does she not realize this situation puts her reputation severely in question? The mere suggestion could cause a sensation, and I cannot hear what you tell.
I'll be warned not to marry you.
I could go.
I'll be scorned if I marry you.
I should go.
Still, I've decided
My life
to
will be
live again. Believe how my life has
I should be all.
dreaming that quickly
Makes me love.
nothing could bend the will like half a stillion men. There's a gentleness there in you,
Isn't this
and
fine?
a kindness to spare you.
Isn't she done?
You've taken a wounded
What was what?
That sound! Is there someone here?
Oh, that's my new manservant. He's just finding his way around. I'll be with you in a moment. Wadsworth? Isn't this madness? Who could foresee how one trick of timing could ruin it all? One in the parlor, one in the bedroom, nothing between them but me and old Phoebe. Noble and pious, my esteem for her only grows. When I'm with Phoebe, I am on fire, thinking of Isabella, full of desire, passion and dare, I say. But when I'm with Isabella, whom do I admire? None but Phoebe, perfect and lovely, who could love her hair that knows round and round and round it goes. How happy I'd be to be at your disposal, my darling. Of course I'll accept your proposal.
Now we should kiss.
That would be bliss.
Darling, but first I'll say this. I've decided to marry you.
Phoebe,
I've decided to marry you.
Phoebe, fall and set me free. Can I get a Isabella?
I've decided to marry you.
Oh, Phoebe, look what you've done to me. Phoebe? Wadsworth? I'm grateful indeed for your gracious bestowment. Yes, Wadsworth, I told you I'll pay just a moment.
Dear, I fear I now should go. But I still want to marry you.
So,
Decided to marry you.
decided to marry you. Decided to marry you, marry you, marry you. Shame you must go.
Is it safe to come out now?
I believe so.
I'm sure
Yes.
I can't imagine what she was so excited about.
Who?
Miss Dicewith, your cousin, our visitor.
Just some business about selling her brother's horse. Now, where were we? I see Sibella, my Sibella, and I want you that way.
Lady Hyacinth found alive! Escapes from cannibals! Lady Philanthropist arrives home today! Lady Hyacinth is being greeted by founders! Lady Hyacinth falls and gangplank collapse! Lady drowns in horror!
All the sights and injection are the receipt of the hands of the Dicewiths. Lord Adalbert were by far the most painful to her. Dearest Adalbert, she wrote, why have you not answered my letter? The one before that. You have been like a brother to me. Surely you cannot turn me away in the hour of my greatest need.
I'm famished. What are we eating?
Everything to drive you to an early grave.
Oh, it can't be too soon as long as you're living.
Well, let's hope that I die first, or else I shall feed your remains to the hounds.
I foresee a lingering illness, every inch of you covered in leeches, and I will take great pleasure in placing each and every one of them on you myself. Speaking of leeches, who did you invite up here to sponge off us this weekend?
Miss Phoebe Dicewith and Mr. Montague Dicewith Navarro.
I remember Miss Dicewith, of course.
Which one are you?
Phoebe, sir. sister of late Henry Dysquith.
They're all named Henry.
Darling, it's been way too long. I trust your trip was tolerable.
Half the family's named Henry. It's a lack of imagination.
Oh, quite, ma'am. With Mr. Navarro as my companion, it seemed to take no time at all. Mr. Navarro, I don't believe you've met the Earl and his Countess, Lady Dysquith.
So you're the young ragger they're all talking about. Suppose your name is Henry too.
It's Montague.
Oh, that's a first.
An honor to meet you at last.
Monty Navarro, you're here by invitation.
Delighted, Countess.
Monty Navarro, you weren't away again.
Charmed.
But please resist the slightest inclination. Wipe off that grin.
Come on, Henry, let me show you the weapons that killed our ancestors.
Oh, you may be clever, but Monty, you'll never win.
Thank you, I'd love to.
You'll never win.
This is Lionel Holland.
It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Countess.
Well, of course it is.
My husband so wanted to be here tonight, but was called away last moment. Something about a meeting at Newmarket. I am hopeless when it comes to horses, aren't you?
Actually, no. I breed.
But Mr. Holland asked me to express the sincerest regrets. I do hope you don't mind that I've arrived alone.
Oh, how very enterprising of you. Phoebe, I don't believe you've met Mrs. Holland. Mrs. Holland, this is Phoebe Dysquith, my husband's cousin.
So pleased to know you, Mrs. Holland.
The pleasure is mine, entirely.
How lovely you look.
I've just been admiring your gown, your flawless complexion, your sparkling eyes.
You are too kind.
Oh no, I'm really not. I do believe we know someone in common.
Oh, really? Who could that be?
Gather round, everyone. Lady Dysquith informs me that we are to raise our glasses in a toast to my cousin, Miss Dysquith, on the occasion of her engagement to Mr. Henry Dysquith.
Montague!
Mr. Henry Dysquith Montague.
Navarro!
Mr. Henry Navarro Dysquith Montague. Splendid chap, as far as I can tell. And a cousin, strangely enough. His mother was a bit of a disappointment. All water under the bridge, of course. I understand you are next in line in the succession. Funny that. The way everyone's dropping like flies, I shouldn't wonder if I'll find you trying to smother me in my sleep. What? Well, I'm getting the evil eye, so let's go into dinner. There's one thing I can't abide, it's cold hen. Don't you agree, Nirvana?
It's Navarro!
Oh, you wrinkled old kumquat!
This is quite a coincidence, Mrs. Holland.
Don't Mrs. Holland me. Just when were you planning to tell me this happy
I should
news?
think you would want to keep your voice down.
You're always telling me to keep quiet, aren't you?
I would have sent you and Mr. Holland an announcement in due course.
An announcement? I won't be treated like
Yes.
you were despicable.
Perhaps it is a very good thing we did not marry Isabella.
You didn't used to think so.
You can't really imagine you have cause to complain of my marrying Miss Dysquith.
You don't have to, Monty. You could call it off. You must.
There was a time you and I might have fulfilled our natural destiny and married one another.
Oh, that would have been a wonderful arrangement. We would have been so comfortably off.
I have no doubt we could have scraped along.
I can't imagine either of us scraping along, Monty. We would have hated each other in a week.
We should never have done that, Isabella. We know each other perfectly. Better than anyone else could. We should have always loved each other. That is, if you loved me as I love you.
Of course I love you, Monty. And if I'd not been so sure that I loved you, I wouldn't have risked everything marrying Lionel.
I'm not even going to Try to make sense of that convoluted statement.
Monty, don't. Please,
This fish is an abomination!
Oh, you specifically requested cod.
She knows very well I detest cod. Who the devil are you?
It's Walter, dear, from the kitchen. I gave Bellamy the night off to spend it with his sick mother.
Sick mother, that's a good one. Most gullible woman on earth.
Oh, well, I should have never believed your vow to love, honor, and cherish.
Till death do us part, my darling.
That's what I cling to, my sweet.
The servant problem in London is just dreadful. You simply can't keep anyone for longer than 6 months.
Shingo, how long have you been at Highhurst?
39 years next month, my lady.
Shingle! What are you doing here?
Enjoy the card, sir.
Monty, darling, are you quite all right?
Yes. I believe you're right, Phoebe. Just a bit fatigued, perhaps.
Have you been to the symphony lately? No.
I am sitting here with poison in my pocket. Ted is finally on the block. It seems that now at last the moment I've been waiting for is here.
Mr. Holland and I were at Albert Hall the other evening.
All that's really left to be decided is the dish to put the poison in, provided I can do what must be done discreetly when the coast is clear.
Aztec, darling.
Yes, no. All right. I confess it pains me some to ruin someone's cooking, but for God's sake, another servant's looking. I have had a run of luck, but this one does require skill.
An entire program of Beethoven. From the sound of it, he must have been such an unhappy man. Don't you think?
Fish and flounder must be well selected so that no one else at all will be affected. What an awful waste to doing someone I don't want to kill.
This venison is too rich. Take it away. Oh, that cook is going to kill me yet. So, Nirvana, what do you think of the castle?
It's magnificent. Don't you think so, Phoebe?
Oh, yes, it's quite marvelous.
Pot with reeks of mildew, not unlike my husband.
The men who have defended these walls have brought honor. Ow! To the men Dowsgrith. You see that broadsword over there? That belonged to the second Earl, who eviscerated his very own brother with it.
Oh, really, Albert?
And that crossbow over there belonged to my grandfather Charles. The details of the accident still remain rather vague.
Let's just leave it at that, shall
Then
we?
I must show you the weapon I used to defend the Empire during the Boer War.
Really, Albert?
It was the Battle of Majuba Hill in 81. The Boers had us surrounded. There was no quarter. And in the panic, Jürgen, my loyal young Transvaalian valet, revealed himself as a Boer. He was a turncoat, cornering me with my very own weapon, my Martini Henry Mark II. Have you ever fired one?
Albert,
No.
sit down.
I looked death in the face, and death looked right back at me. And looking down the battle of a gun, it concentrates the mind completely. And suddenly you find a love for humankind, and makes you look upon the world more sweetly. When all at once it seems your life is done, You recognize that all goes by so fleetly. There's so much left to do, except of course for you, when you're looking down the barrel of a gun.
This trifle is delicious.
Oh no, if I eat that I shall be paying forever. Here!
No dessert for me. Mr. Holland complains if I gain even an ounce.
Nonsense! You're the figure of a teenage boy! This is the best trifle in England! I insist!
Well, I suppose just this once. It is a special occasion. Ah! Mr. Navarro!
I do pardon me.
Monty, what are you doing?
So clumsy.
Down the battle of a gun, and the barrel looks right back at you demurely, with an eye that seems to say, perhaps you want to pray. So sorry that you're dying prematurely. You're grateful that you've had your share of fun. There you suppose you might have lived your life more purely. It's ludicrous to care. Neither here nor there, when you're staring down the barrel of a gun. Oh Lord, is this really your intention? Are men like me in short supply? Oh Lord, I could use your intervention. This cannot be the way I meant to die. Do you really want to see me die?
Once you're making a spectacle of yourself.
The balls had us surrounded. There was no quarter. And Jürgen had betrayed me after everything we had been to each other. Now, Evan, ain't that right of me? Correctly?
Oh, I hope it's loaded.
Jürgen, this is something I said. I want you to know I've never held your humble origins against you. My best friends are those. So, please put down the gun. I know I took a good game of bravery and courage and God save the Queen and all that, but I really don't want to die. I really don't! Don't you know I've loved you like the sun? I do not mean to say this impolitely. Considering the view, I'd rather take for you. Looking down the barrel of a gun.
Oh, get up, you old goat. Adelbert. Adelbert! Adelbert! What?
So, I became Lord Montague Dysel of Navarro, 9th Earl of Highhurst. And of course, Phoebe became Lady Navarro, Countess of Highhurst. I confess that at times it had almost seemed as if it had all been God's will.
Tempting all the happy couple, beautiful.
Treat yourself.
My congratulations, your lordship. I wonder if I might have a word with you in private.
Terribly sorry, have we met?
Oh, I shouldn't think so. Chief Inspector Pickney, Scotland Yard. You are the Earl of Highhurst, are you not?
Oh, may I ask what this is regarding?
Sorry to interrupt such a festive occasion, but I'm under strict instructions to arrest you for murder.
Murder? Stop, wait, what? For the murder of Adelbert Dysworth. Though it certainly was my intent. Rather hard to digest that I could be arrested for something that I only meant. And it couldn't be poor cousin Asquith, for he graciously died on his own. Was that hole in the ice just a bit too precise for my presence and chisel mere known? Murder, did you say?
I'm afraid so, your lordship.
Stop, wait, when? I should doubt I was seen in the harbour. Lady Hysal fell in so fast. As for Salome's end, no suspicion would send them at once to that backstabbing cast. To the beastings reveal my deception? Was I seen in the weightlifting hall? How rude to intrude on this lovely reception, for I am the Earl after all. Yes, I am the Earl after all. What comes I concede at a cost. But where was my blunder? My weakness, I wonder, is all of it now to be lost? Is all of it now to be lost? Murdering whom?
Lord Adelbert Dysquith, the 8th Earl of Highhurst.
The murder of Adelbert Dysquith, were there ever a farce as it? I am hardly amused I should stand here accused of a murder I didn't commit, but surely the Earl died of a heart attack.
No, your lordship, it was foul play.
Of course I should like to inquire by what method he happened to die, but more to the point, what events now conspired to lead them to think it was I? I've dispatched half a dozen, each one a cousin, all of them quite by design. It was not a defense, which just makes no sense. This murder was not one of mine.
On the charge of willful murder and the death by poison of Lord Adelbert Dysquith, 8th Earl of Highhurst. How do you plead, my lord?
Not guilty!
Chief Inspector Picty, Scotland Yard. No one was allowed in or out of the castle until each of the guests and all of the servants had been interviewed thoroughly.
Dr. Pettibone, medical examiner. After the post-mortem, I discovered what Lord Dysquith ingested and determined there was poison in the port.
Gas! Hilda, sir, it was my job to fetch the wine from the cellar. I gave it to Mrs. Shard. Selina Shard. Before dinner began, I poured the port into the decanter to allow the nuttiness to blossom.
Alfred Gorby, no one drank the port but his lordship. I'd stake my life on it.
Poison in the port. Poppycock. I was in a position to know that the old Earl was dyspeptic, quite liverish. That's what killed him. Miss Marietta Shingle.
Lady Eugenia Dysquith. Adelbert, my husband, the late Earl, feared Mr. Navarro so eager to succeed him, he might smother him in his sleep.
Mrs. Lionel Holland, Monty had every right to resent the Dysquiths. They disinherited his mother, denied his very existence. Why shouldn't he feel he deserved to take his place among them? According to you.
Lady Phoebe Dysquith Navarro, Countess of Highhurst. My husband, the present Earl, is the kindest, the gentlest, the noblest of men, with the purest of intentions, I assure you.
I submit to you that the entirety of this prosecution is but a fragile tissue of circumstantial evidence with no proof whatsoever of my guilt. I appeal to your common decency, my lords, and ask that you end this appalling charade at once.
Oh, pardon me, my lord. I'll just go and tidy up a bit. I'll just do once around and I'll be out of your way.
By all means, my man, do what you must.
If I may say so, my lord, they're saying you gave a right good speech at your trial today.
Is that what they're saying?
Oh, yes. Oh, I was proud to hear it. Well, being a Dysquith myself, of course.
I beg your pardon? Did you say that you're a Dysquith?
Oh, Chauncey Dysquith. My father was Nesmith Dysquith. Maybe you heard of him? No? I was a bit black sheep, he was. Family never wanted nothing to do with him. Can't say as I blame him. He wasn't much of a father neither.
You're a Dysquith. You're a Dysquith. This is quite remarkable. Have you never felt ill-treated by the Dysquith family?
Well, no, how could I? They don't even know me. Well, it's true. I ain't got none of the advantages of being a Dysquith, but I ain't got none of their troubles neither.
And I've seen you every day for the past 6 weeks, and yet you've not said a thing.
Well, I'm sort of a shy sort, actually. But, well, saying as if I don't know if I'm going to see you again, I just want to say, whatever happens, good luck, my lord.
Lady Phoebe Dysquith Navarro, Countess of Highhurst, is here to see you. My lord.
Oh, Monty,
Phoebe, darling,
how are you?
I'm better now that you've come to see me.
Oh, Monty.
Phoebe, I beg you not to worry. I've come to believe that an unseen providence is watching over me.
I do believe that, I do.
Yet, I can see the agony in your face, and it torments me.
Monty, I do have one thing to ask.
Yes, anything, Phoebe, darling.
That woman, Mrs. Holland,
Yes?
that awful night at Highhurst, and then again at the trial, the way she looked at you.
Looked at me? How?
Monty, I'm asking for one thing of you, and I must have the truth. Is she in love with you? No need to speak. You've just given me your answer.
And so, there's no more of this memoir to write. The ending will be revealed one way or the other in the morning with the verdict of the jury. All that's left is for me to try and get some sleep. Though I should feel it will be unlikely.
That horrible woman, that contemptible girl.
Countess Navarro?
Oh, make no mistake, she's a venomous snake, and she poisoned the earl. And Mr. Navarro was a pawn in her plan. I have come here to save him. He's an innocent man.
Do you know what you're saying, Mrs. Holland?
He's an innocent man. That horrible woman.
Mrs. Holland?
Do not utter her name. You must tell the court how she poisoned the port and diverted the flame. Go and bring her to justice, just as fast as you can. As I told you, my husband is an innocent man.
She seemed tense and alert.
No motives to desert. Did she flirted and batted her eyes at the men?
She rose from her seat.
She reached for a sweet.
Every gesture was planned.
Thinking no one could see, no one saw her but me. In a blink, she put drops in his drink. That's a quote
From a letter she wrote.
to see me, and quite in the nick of time.
Yes, I was just about to tell you the same thing.
It seems Mrs.
Navarro did it. Mrs. Navarro? I've got evidence. It's quite convincing. Well, they can't both have done it.
Dear Monty.
Monty, darling.
It was I who poisoned the Earl.
It was time you took your rightful place.
This is astonishing.
She says she intercepted the letter.
Before it was to be handed to Lord Navarro.
Well, we can't arrest one woman if we believe the other guilty.
The law won't allow it.
No jury would convict.
Reasonable doubt. Seems we're in a bit of a bind.
Lord Navarro?
The indictment's been dropped, your lordship. You are being set free.
I beg your pardon? The jury's been excused, and you're to be released immediately. Come, come.
Come with us, your lordship. Come with us.
The crowd's assembled, and they're cheering for you.
Surely that can't be for me.
Oh, I knew you had to be innocent all along. You're bloody Earl, for heaven's sake.
Monty!
Look at Phoebe, noble and heights, steep for whom he grows. But when I'm with Phoebe,
Oh, Monty.
Sibella, full of desire, passion and dare, they say in love. But when I'm with Sibella,
Monty, darling.
Phoebe, perfect and lovely, who wouldn't love her, heaven knows. And round and round and round and round we go.
What a fantastic story, your lordship. You'll have something for those memoirs now, won't you?
My memoirs? My memoirs! My memoirs!
Oh, the memoirs! Here's the memoirs! Oops, yes, what about the memoirs?
Here, my lord, I found this journal in your cell, and the thought...
How very thoughtful!
Monty Navarro, how have you come so late for? Monty Navarro, to what to comprehend? Monty Navarro, do we know who you really are? What will your future portend? Monty Navarro, Monty Navarro, Monty Dexter Navarro.
I am the ninth Earl of Highhurst.
And this is not
The thought occurs, if I didn't poison the Earl, who did?
Prussic acid in just the right amount works almost instantly. If Monty had been found guilty, I was fully prepared to come forward and confess my crime. Long live the Earl.
I'm still the 9th Earl of Highhurst.
And this is not me. I'm standing here with poison in my pocket.